Been quite a while. I know. So I'm reviving this channel because I've been going through a lot over here. I am in my doorway of my house right now. As you can see behind me, I have a dumpster. I am not living here at the moment. Nobody's living here at the moment. I will show you why. Just a minute. Hang on. It's great. All right, so this is my living room currently. Let's just do a little house tour. All right. Come look at my house with me. Okay, so this is my living room. Let me try to zoom out. There we go. This is my living room. This is all of my stuff. There's my kitchen over there. And this all started when, over the summer, we tried to upgrade our water system, basically. One thing leads to another. We had to get a well drilled. We had a contractor in here. Let me go back to where I was standing earlier. The very first thing right before we got the well drilled, we've always known this since we moved into this house. We moved into this house about 15 years ago. This wasn't a surprise, but we knew that when the day came that we would need to get our well worked on, it was going to be a problem because our well lives right about here. See this? The cutout on the floor, our well is under there. We always knew that was going to be a problem if it ever came to us needing to work on our wonderful well. The day came over the summer when we needed to have work done on the well. We get a contractor in here and he says, okay, well, we have some options. He could either cut the floor, basically leave. You know, that was basically it. Because what happened was when he got under the house, he found some serious structural issues with our house. I don't know if anybody knows anything about construction or building. This right here, this part is part of our original house. This room is part of our original house. I'm not sure if you can tell. I don't know shit about... I don't know if I could say that. I don't want to get flagged or anything. I don't know anything about anything. I just work in an office in marketing. That's all I know. But I do know that the fact that these floor, I think he called them joists, studs, I don't know. The fact that these are so far apart is a bad thing. Very, very bad thing. This was my daughter's room, by the way. This was my daughter's room. You can kind of see over here if I zoom in. This was the edge of the floor, and you can see, I'll try to steady that. You can see how the floor was separating from the wall. And we always knew that was an issue. That wasn't really something that was a surprise when he came in. But he said that there was major structural issues. I also don't know if you could tell that is just dirt under there. That was also fun. I think I always knew that there was dirt. Like, we didn't really have an official crawl space. I knew it was made of dirt. I knew it was not concrete. Also over here, this one's fun too. I wonder if I can zoom in here. Where this? Oh no, don't do that. I want the lighting still. Because the electric's turned off in here, I think. So I can't turn the light on. Stop it. Right there. There. That was basically the foundation. That represents the foundation of our house. Not just there, but that is pretty similar to the foundational structure of our house. And I'll show you another spot where that happens. This was our hallway. Right there. This one's a fun one. Because there we go. The cinder block that is holding up this corner of the house, and this is like a structural corner of the house, you know, like it's right outside there. The cinder block that's holding it up is kind of falling off of there. And you can see this doesn't really match up. Like, there is like a 3-inch drop there. There's always been a drop there. You know, it's kind of one of those things, like whenever you move into kind of a janky ass house, it's just, there's certain things that you just forgive and you just overlook. That weird gap is one of those things that we just overlooked. That was our bedroom. I can't really go in there. I'm not going to jump over that. My contractor does it all the time. So I know it's safe. I know that's why the boards are there, because he and the two guys that he works with, they're in there all the time because they're working. I'm not going to go in there. I don't want to get hurt. I don't have health insurance right now. That's another long story. Anyway, so the heat is off in the house. And let me show you, I don't know if you can see this, but I have, again, long story, but I have two whatever these are called, thermostats. It is about 46, 47, 48 degrees in our house right now. One of these is to our boiler. I think this is the one to our boiler. And this thermostat is this thing right here, which does heating and cooling. And right now, this single unit is heating the entire house because our boiler also went out in this whole thing. That was unexpected. That was kind of a surprise. I came in here one day because we still have chickens. We have a lot of animals. Obviously, we have there was turtles in here. The turtles are not living here right now. We have a dog, 2 cats, a snake, a rabbit, all living at my in-laws' house right now. We've been there for about 3 months now. So this is about what they've torn up in, 2 months, because they took a break over Christmas. Totally understandable. I was not going to give them a hard time for taking a Christmas break. This house sucks. You know what I mean? So yes, take a break, guys. You deserved it. In a house with no heat over Christmas. Yeah, it's fine. Anyway. What was I saying? So yeah, I can't have the animals in here, obviously, because there's no floor, A. And B, there's no heat. Not really any consistent heat. So yeah, essentially, I am going to revive this channel, at least a little bit. I probably will not I'll not be posting very, very regularly, but I'm going to try to post at least once a week as this is the update to my house this week. So right now, this is basically everything I own. We do have a garage outside, like through there, that is kind of quote unquote full of stuff. Right now it's full of contractor stuff, like the spare, like plywood and material. Because we also had our deck redone. It's snowing out there. I can't show you. But we had our deck redone also. So for a while there was decking material in there, but that's pretty much done. So that's fun. So this is going to be a long project, a very long project. I'm assuming it'll be done by summer. So for the next 6 months-ish, let me try to turn this camera around again. Let me stand back here. This was a decent background. So yeah, for the next 6 months or so, I'll try to post like once a week as a money pit. Update. What's going to happen at the end of the 6 months? We are having, obviously our entire house has to be ripped up. Okay, I didn't finish this thought when I had it earlier, but when I pointed out how far apart the joists, studs, whatevers were in the floor of the original house, and I say original house because there's been several additions to this house. What you just walked through literally was just about my entire house. I have a very tiny house. But because it's so tiny, or even though it's so tiny, that's the correct word. Even though it's so tiny, there has been several additions to this house. I'm standing in one of them, obviously, the well being under the kitchen was not a original feature of the house. So I think the original house was literally just the living room and my daughter's room. I'm not sure. Then like the bathroom's in that other corner, but that's really about all that was in the house. I have a theory. And I feel like I'm right because this house was originally built right post World War II, like 44, 1944. I have a feeling some like grizzled veteran came back from the war and they were just like, fuck it. I need a house and I need a house now. And to their credit, this house has stood for almost 100 years, 80 years, without needing like serious modifications. So to their credit, it stood for a long time. The problem is that it is now falling down. Yucky me. So the plan now is that basically everything in here is going to be gutted. Living room, we're doing it kind of in sections because I don't have anywhere else to put my shit, basically. So they're doing the bedroom, my daughter's bedroom, and then once those, at least like the flooring and drywall is in there, I'm going to move all of my garbage into those rooms so that then they can gut the living room, and the kitchen, and the bathroom. Everything's getting gutted. Everything. Because the house was done because of the way the additions were done, none of them were really done properly. And I also want to say that hiring a reputable home inspector when you do buy a home, if anybody's buying a home in this economy, this is why we're doing this, because we're not going to buy a new home. This is no way. If you are buying a new home, get a very good home inspector. We got apparently a garbage home inspector. He didn't tell us any of this, that our foundation is basically on cinder blocks on dirt. He didn't mention any of that. That just slipped his mind. Oh, and then another issue is that in the roof, because this is just a ranch, there's no stairs yet. There will be stairs because they have to lift up the roof. Well, they don't have to, but part of this is like the contractor went up into the attic and he took pictures. He's not trying to like fuck me over or anything. He took pictures, and in one of the corners, the roof is held up with a literal car jack. Literally. So I don't know how the roof hasn't fallen down. So he has to take off the roof anyway. So the thought was, and because the boiler went out, the reason we've never put a second floor on this house is because we had a boiler. Having a boiler system is really a pain in the ass because you have to have baseboard heating. I mean, you don't have to, but that's how this house did it, is we had baseboard heating, which is run off of our water. The reason that the boiler went out is because our water sucks, because we have a well. Anyway, so we're putting a second floor in the house also because he has to take the roof off anyway. So it's just like, well, at that point, well, what's the difference? At least we'll get a second floor. And it's not even a second floor. It's like a bonus room because it's not going to be a floor in the sense, like a second story in the sense of the roof is, or the ceiling's going to be like 8 feet, cathedral ceilings, skylights, not that kind of situation. It's going to be like a bonus room, mostly for storage. Although I have a feeling my daughter is going to take it over. She's 14 now. I have a feeling she's going to take it over. She's taken up like crocheting. She loves crocheting. It's probably where she's going to hang out for like until she goes to college. So anyway, I don't know how often, or I mean, I'm going to try to post at least once a week. But I don't know if it will be regular. Like, I don't know if I could say, oh, every Saturday I'll give you all an update. I don't know if that's going to happen. But I will try. No promises. All right, join me for this fun adventure of mine.